Delight your kids with this spooktacular sandwich. They'll have so much fun wrapping the mummies with delicious V&V Supremo brand Queso Oaxaca string cheese. Start by preheating the oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Meanwhile, in a small bowl, combine the bread with Supremo brand Mexican sour cream from V&V Supremo and let it sit for 15 minutes. Now, in another bowl, combine the ground beef with Supremo brand pork or beef chorizo from V&V Supremo. Add the egg, grated Sierra brand Cotija cheese from V&V Supremo, oregano, black pepper, and the bread mixture. Mix well until combined. Separate the meat mixture into 6 equal portions, approximately 3 ounces each. If you have a scale available, weigh each portion for even distribution. To form the meat into mummies, roll each portion into a ball. Then, form into a sausage-like shape, approximately 5 to 5.5 inches long. Pinch either end with your fingers to form the head and neck of the mummy, making sure it is not completely separated or broken off. Place the mummies on a baking sheet with a baking rack. Put them in the oven and bake at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for 25 minutes. The internal temperature of the meat should be at 165 degrees Fahrenheit. Once they're cooked, remove from the oven and set aside to cool for approximately 8 to 10 minutes. Once the mummies are cool enough to handle, take a string of V&V Supremo brand Queso Oaxaca string cheese. Start at the bottom portion of the mummy. Hold the string cheese with your fingers under the mummy's body and begin to wrap the string cheese around it. To hold the string cheese in place where you end it, just overlap it with a second string of cheese. Once you reach the head of the mummy, be sure to leave an open space for the eyes. At this point, you can crisscross the strings to make it look like a mummy. Children young and old will enjoy making this delicious work of art. Return the wrapped mummies back to the baking sheet and heat for 5 minutes only. We don't want the cheese to melt, only to adhere to the meat. Meanwhile, pour marinara sauce into a saucepan. Bring to a boil under medium heat, approximately 2 to 3 minutes. Lower the heat and just maintain warm until ready to serve. Remove the mummies from the oven. To form the eyes, use the remaining string cheese. Take a small portion of the string cheese and roll it into a tiny ball in the palm of your hand. And place the eyes on the mummy. Now, mix the ketchup with the food coloring of your choice and mix until well combined. Dip a toothpick into the mixture and dot the eyes. To make the sarcophagus, take a baguette and cut approximately 1/4 of an inch off the end and discard. Now, on the other end, cut 2 inches off and set aside to make the tombstone. Cut the top sides diagonally, leaving 1.5 inches of the flat surface on the top. Similarly, cut 3/4 of the length inward in a diagonal direction, leaving about 1 inch of flat surface at the bottom. Slice in half to create the top and bottom of the sarcophagus. Slice in half the pieces that were reserved for the tombstone and warm with the tops and bottoms of the sarcophagus in the oven for about 1 to 2 minutes at 350 degrees Fahrenheit. To make these little guys more spooktacular, take the reserved bread slices for the tombstone and use a toothpick and the colored ketchup to write RIP on each piece. To serve, take the bottom half of the bread and add 2 tablespoons of sauce. Sprinkle grated Sierra brand Cotija cheese from B&B Supremo and lay the mummy on the bread. Pierce 1 piece of RIP bread with pretzel and place above the head of the mummy. For the top half of the bread, spread the sauce on and sprinkle grated Sierra cheese. Set the bread at an offset angle on top of the mummies to simulate an open sarcophagus. A spooktacular Halloween meal perfect for your little goblins. Enjoy! For this recipe and many more, visit us at bvsupremo.com.